Ray's over there kind of crying. I don't even know what to say after that.
Well, I'm supposed to read.
Oh,
this. I'm sorry. Solidarity Award to Jon Schleuss, President of NewScale, for creating a new spirit of organizing in your union, in your inspirational leadership as an out-labor leader.
Very heavy piece of glass. Well, that was really sweet. That makes me sound a lot more exciting than I think that I am. Thank you so much to Private Work. Thanks to the National Executive Board, Jeremy. Can we just, this has been such an amazing conference so far. Can we just give a round of applause to everyone? And you know, I also really want to thank, because these moments that we're in, right, they're created by workers, but the moments that we're in right now, and especially as a queer community, are possible because so many people fought and died so that we can have a place here, right? I want to dedicate this award to our members because our members are our true strength, right? When I talk about my job, and I was in bargaining virtually in the middle of the day today with our folks at the Dallas Morning News who were amazing. They were just running bargaining the whole time. And you know, when I talk about what I think of my job is that my job is to help them build larger fires. That the workers start the fires and then I bring the fuel to add to those fires so that they're even larger. And Chris is right about the growth of the union. We've grown by 50%, but it's also inclusive of a lot of other groups that are not necessarily media. And I didn't talk about that a lot last night, but it includes folks at nonprofit organizations. So recently, the Southern Poverty Law Center, they have organized about a year. And they just won like an amazing first contract that included like retirement benefits that made me say, well, do they have any job openings? That's really good. It also includes, you know, after we joined that lawsuit, we joined a lawsuit against the Minnesota State Patrol, against the city of Minneapolis. We're still working on settlement. I was just here a month ago with the journalists who had been injured in those protests and coverage. And, you know, we joined with the ACLU of Minnesota, and then, like, afterwards, the staff at the ACLU of Minnesota was like, can we also unionize with y'all? And we were like, yeah, let's do that too. So now the ACLU of Minnesota is part of our union. And so many other groups. I mean, we also represent the staff at the AFL-CIO. Right now, the staff at the AFL and a lot of staff at different SEIU. So sometimes I'm in conflict with the other union leaders, but it's all mostly good. Right now, I don't think Fred and I are good right now. Usually I do bargain next year. Yeah, bargaining next year. So we'll go more aggressive then. But right now it's good. So it's a real honor because some of those folks are like our best activists, right? Because it's a lot of people like y'all in this room where you're an active member on staff or inside your union, and those folks, I mean, y'all know how to make this happen, and you're able to help convert, you know, like the 3s or the 4s or the 5s, right? That we talk about in organizing. These are people that are on the fence or maybe ambiguous or maybe ignorant, right? Like Jordy, right? Like wherever you were talking about not knowing what a union was like not that long ago, and then you found it with your colleagues at Starbucks. And so it's so incumbent on us to actually spread this gospel. I think of it as like a church, right? Like this is the church. The Union Hall is our church. That's our place where we go, and our strength is with each other. And we really have to bring like everyone into this fight. So, you know, I'm not going to speak for much more. I just like the highlights of what our guild members are able to achieve in places like in Dallas and at the Southern Poverty Law Center are really amazing things that I think really affect our community, and it's been so awesome to see them push for things like requiring in the interview process that we interview a certain percentage of people from underrepresented groups so that we're actually creating diversity in our staff, so that we're building true worker management diversity committees where we're pushing things. I mean, like one of the good examples of that was a decision to actually add another reporter to cover the Asian American community in Los Angeles, in the Inland Empire, and that was a really great thing to do, because then it added coverage to a community that was underrepresented in the reporting of the Los Angeles Times. We've also been pushing for, at the LA Times too, right after we unionized, the first thing we did, me being a former data reporter was very excited about this work, was we filed for information of how much people were making so we could get that data so we could do it in bargaining. But we quickly turned around and we figured out what the pay equity issues were, and we saw that men were making a lot more than women, and that people of color were making a lot less than white people. And it wasn't, the experience level was the same, the skill level was the same, the work was the same. It made no sense. So we went public with those findings, and the company was like, that's not true. And we're like, these are Pulitzer Prize winning reporters who are saying that's true. So it's true. And just at the LA Times, we took them to court, and we won a class action lawsuit that settled and gave people millions of dollars. That's like a power that we didn't have before we had a union, but then we had this ability to get this information out of our organization, out of the company, and then turn it around and turn it into a thing that actually changed people's lives, right? And the people who had moved on from the LA Times and now work at different places and different news organizations were like calling me up and being like, John, I just got a check for like $10,000 because I was underpaid because of my race. Like, can we also organize with you? Like, let's add to it. We've also been like pushing to be more inclusive in our language, in our contracts for our trans comrades and for our non-binary comrades, and pushing for making sure that we're covering gender-affirming care. And most recently, one of the most amazing things seeing has been after the Supreme Court decision was leaked, and the leak also was done by political reporters who unionized with the New Skill. So we have transparency in our institution. But right after that, we gathered around, and I really tried to be member-led, so we brought members together along with our staff to actually figure out what are we going to do? What are we going to do about this? Because this is ticking us off. And I went back in our archives, I talked to a few people who had been around the Guild a lot longer than I had, and I had said, have we ever dealt with this issue? And we were like, yeah, actually, the Guild, the News Guild, actually affirmed a woman's right to have control over her own body and choose whether or not she wanted to have an abortion back in 1982.
All right.
And I was like, that's amazing. Okay, well, what are we going to do? Like, I don't want to just do statements. I want to actually put things into practice. So we got together with our members, and they came up with model contract language. And like Tim was talking about this morning about, making sure that in your healthcare plan, you can actually provide abortion access and travel access. It's so essential. That's a power that we have. That's a power that we have when we're unionized. And our members in the mission. I feel so honored and humbled to be in this role, truly at 32, now 34, with more gray hair. I feel so humbled, and if you're out there and you feel like you can't run for union office, that you don't like the union leadership right now, you can run for union office, and you should run for union office. You should run for union office. We were talking about this earlier. You should run for union office. Yeah. We'll talk about it later. I'm back up. And so, this is something that we should just make sure that we're constantly doing. We're constantly trying to improve our organizations, and the competition in elections is vital for democracy in the labor movement. So please run, and remember, y'all, we have more power than we know. Thank you so much.